New figures are revealing the misconceptions that parents have about the age at which their children begin building up their confidence and how much socializing with both adults and children is necessary. Well, today, Anne-Marie Martin, a preschool dance teacher, is urging parents to take action and be aware of how socialization can help their child develop from a young age. Good morning, Anne-Marie.
Good morning.
Good morning. Now, I know you've done this research and you've looked at parents' attitudes towards their children's socialisation across the UK. Please tell me that we're doing well in this area, are we?
Well, when we did the research, actually what we found in your area is that 65% of parents are not aware that children develop their confidence before the age of 5.
Oh dear, so we're not doing very well at all.
It's good compared to the UK, that's 72% there, so it's not bad at all.
Okay, but we can improve, we can do better.
Yes, and that's what we want to do, just raise that awareness.
So what are the recommended goals for children's socialisation then?
So when looking at the early years foundation stage framework, what Ofsted do is they set early learning goals. It's very important to understand that every child is very different, so they will all reach those goals at very different stages. But one of the prime areas is personal, social and emotional development. So they're looking for self-confidence, self-awareness, managing feelings and behaviours and making relationships, because through those positive relationships, that's how they can learn to be strong and independent and help that transition moving into school.
And you said something quite important there, that children may reach these stages at different ages, and it's not for the parents to force them and say, oh, my little Johnny is absolutely excellent.
Oh, absolutely. That whole parenting style of comparing and comparison really needs to take a back seat. Every child gets there in their own time, but it is at very different stages, yes.
Yeah. So what advice would you give to parents with young children?
So really what we can do as parents is just help and aid that transition into moving into school. So moving out of the comfort of your own home sometimes and just getting out to as many groups and activities and somewhere that the children can socialise with other children. Before the age of 2, children do what's called parallel play, and they're not really aware of the other children around them anyway. But then from that age, it's great for them to start interacting with other children and adults so that they can start learning those sort of social skills of taking turns, responding to instructions, sharing. That's always a big one, isn't it?
Do you actually see the benefits of preschool classes?
Oh, absolutely. I think we see it all the time. You'll see these children, they come in and they're really shy and almost looking a little bit anxious. But if you find an activity that they really enjoy, so for example, obviously we teach dance, if they come in and it's really fun, it's really engaging, you can see their confidence start to build. And week after week, they're getting more and more confident. And then that leads on to them becoming more and more independent, which will then obviously make that transition into school a lot smoother.
I was quite amazed that 4 in 10 parents didn't think it was their job to help their children socialise.
Again, I think it's just awareness. It's possibly down to them not realising that children under the age of 5 really can do a lot, or maybe it's just those sort of habits that they've got into, or maybe they're shy and so they stay at home and they think, oh, I don't have to worry about that because they'll start preschool and learn that, or they'll start school and learn that. But really what we want to do is encourage parents and raise that awareness of actually you can really help your child with their social skills if you can take them out to some sort of activity.
You say they can learn a lot before the age of 5. What is the youngest they should start?
Well, it's depending on what sort of activity they want to go to. There are great sessions out there, or even just going along to your local baby group that really, from a few months old, it's known that the development between birth and the age of 5 can develop really, really quickly. So all their experiences at this time can have a major impact on their future life.
Now, as a professional dancer and also 20 years of teaching children to dance yourself, Anne-Marie, you must have seen lots of children coming in who are really very shy, perhaps can't interact, and at the end just are blossoming. That must be a joy.
I love it. I have the most rewarding job in the world. Teaching this age group, preschool age, is the most rewarding job. It's about understanding that every child is different and they will all reach these goals at very different levels. We see children coming in at 2 who are completely confident and run away with themselves. They've got no inhibitions. And then you see the ones that are clinging to their mum and don't want to interact yet. And that's completely fine, because if you find a group that is really fun and really engaging, they'll want to join in more and more each week. And then through that confidence, that's where their independence will grow.
It's kind of a hard thing to sort of judge, isn't it, confidence? Like, to know what a goal is for a child maybe at the age of, say, 5. What would you say is a good sort of standard to be at that age?
Well, I think it's very important to say you have to understand that every child is very different. There's a lot of nature versus nurture there. So naturally, some children just are very shy, and some of them are what's called observers. So they like to take a back seat. They like to just sit and watch what's going on. But that doesn't mean they're still not learning. So I think what the early years foundation stage guidelines offer is that recognising every child is different, but working with them in that environment. And that's where preschool sessions and groups can come in, because it's about finding that activity that they really do enjoy. And then through that activity, that will help them build their confidence and learn to behave in a group and turn taking and holding hands and start to play with other children. Because it really, up to the age of 2, children are just what's called parallel playing, where they're not really aware of the other children around them. But then once they start that age and then leading up to school, that's when relationships start happening and learning how to behave in a group environment.
And what kind of activities are the kind of activities that you would suggest in things like preschool classes? What are the helpful kind of things for maybe parents to be aware of that will help build these kind of confidence sort of levels?
Well, all preschool activities are with their adult carer. So immediately they're going into an environment where, even though they might not know anybody else to start with, they're going in with their grown-up, so they've got that security. But then what you're looking for is just something that they enjoy. Obviously, every person in the world enjoys different things. But if you can find one that helps them socialise, is really fun, really engaging, but also something physically active, then also as well as these social skills that they're developing, is they're also physical fitness levels as well. But you want to look for something that really is helping to encourage them to take turns, or encourage them to maybe dance with somebody else or interact with somebody else, and something where all the parents and carers get involved as well, so the children are getting used to not only interacting with their peers but also interacting with adults in the group as well.
Yes. Well, the world's changing, isn't it, with social media and stuff like that. We're getting more insular and less sociable, aren't we? So don't you think that's a good thing, that we really push our kids more so than ever, than any other generation in the past? Because people sort of, it's all texting now, isn't it? It's all Facebook. So
absolutely. And
interactions going out the window.
What I will say is social media can be good in a way for the parents. So if you're quite a shy or quite anxious parent yourself, putting yourself out there into a group face to face might not be the best thing to start with. So maybe find a little parents group online and start chatting that way, and then that confidence would build for you as a parent, and then you might feel a bit more confident to take your child to an activity. What I think some parents start thinking is, I can't get into that environment myself, and you're subconsciously passing that anxiety onto your child. So by making that leap and getting out there into a group, you'll probably find that all the other mums and parents in that group felt exactly the same. And 2, you're helping your child learn and develop that social skill from a very early age.
Yeah, there's lots of stuff in the media at the moment about schooling. Kids spend too many hours in the classroom and concentration periods and stuff like that. Would you think that a preschool class would just add to that burden, or do you think it's a good thing?
No, I think it's about finding the right sort of activity. I mean, what we do is our sessions are very fun. They're very engaging. The children are learning through having fun. There's a structure to the 45-minute sessions, but it's taught in a very relaxed way. So the children come in and they just join in at their own pace. There's no strong structure. Everybody must line up. Everybody must do this. Everybody must do that. It's very relaxed, and that's what you've got to find find in a preschool activity or toddler group, one where it's a very relaxing, encouraging environment.
So what about class sizes? I mean, is that a relevance in preschool?
No, I think it depends on the leaders in the group, how engaging they are. Are they engaging with all the children in that class? You can have a really good class with just 5 or 6 children, but then you can equally have a really fun, interactive class with 17, 18 children in there. If the leader is really fun and really engaging, all those children take their own bits out of it. You want to find a session that really encourages things like turn taking, responding to instructions, sharing, holding hands with somebody else, those things that they're just naturally learning through having fun.
I think you're absolutely right. I think you're spot on. Anne-Marie, you've crossed over very well, and you talk about it with a lot of passion, which I think the listeners is picking up on, and I think that's really, really good.
Oh, thank you.
So where can our listeners go for further information?
Any more information about the research that we've done or the activities that we do, for example, can be found on our website, which is diddidance.com.